Algebra 2, Lesson 2.4a. This is actually meaning we're going to have a second lesson on 2.4 tomorrow. This is review. We're going to have the most famous equation of a line that you're going to see. This is y equals mx plus b. And m is always going to give us slope. B is your y-intercept. And when you see y equals mx plus b, this is known as slope-intercept form. So it's a wonderful, fast way to be able to graph. We're going to see that in just a moment. Let's take a look at example 1, though. We do have y equals mx plus b. We can look at our learning target. I can find the slope and the y-intercept. Your slope is what is in front of x multiplied to x. It can be a fraction, could even be a decimal, but you're going to see that your m, plain and simply, is negative 1/3. Your y-intercept, your b, is going to be right over here. That's going to be negative 4. And we're done. As we look at example 2, it says find the slope and the y-intercept of this line. Of course, this is a little bit trickier. We're going to have to get y alone. So I'm going to minus a 5x from both sides. And we'll have negative 3y equals negative 5x minus 6. Next, again, I want to get y alone. I'm going to divide every part of the problem by negative 3. You can see the negative 3's cancel, and a negative over a negative becomes a positive. It becomes 5/3 x. Negative 6 divided by negative 3 is a plus 2. Your m is the number in front of your x here. That's going to be 5/3. B, your y-intercept, is a 2. And we're done. When we move to number 3, it says I can graph a line using slope and y-intercept. Again, we need y equals mx plus b. I hope we can see that our m is 3, or I'll write 3 over 1. Our b is negative 2. And what you need to remember is that slope is always rise over run. So because we have a plus 3, this is going to indicate that we're going to be going up 3 and we're going to go right 1. However, what we need to do is realize that we begin our graph with that y-intercept. B tells us to begin. Here's our y-axis. Go down 2 steps here. The y-intercept of negative 2 means that you go 2 steps below the origin. Put a dot there. Now I'm going to use my slope. I'll go up 3 steps. 1, 2, 3 steps up. 1 step to the right. And in fact, I could keep doing that. 1, 2, 3 steps up, 1 step to the right. I could go 1, 2, 3 steps up, 1 step to the right. In a similar way, you could even continue this pattern by going 1, 2, 3 steps down and 1 step to the left. That will suffice. However, you can see what's happening. We get our graph very, very quickly. Take a look at example 4. We have an m, a slope, of negative 1/2. Our b is going to be negative 1. So we begin right here, 1 step below the origin. We always begin with our y-intercept. But with a slope of negative 1 over 2, that means we go down 1. That's what that negative indicates. We're going to go right 2. So I go down 1, and then I go 1, 2 to the right. down 1, 1, 2 to the right. Keep doing that. Down 1, 2 to the right. You can see what's happening. Go up 1, you could go 2 to the left. Now again, on Alex, I believe you only have to select 2 points and you're good to go. I just like to always show kids that that same slope pattern will continue. This is all review. For number 5, what you need to do is get y alone. So I'm going to recopy this. 4x minus 3y minus 6 equals 0. We can add a 6 to both sides. We'll have 4x minus 3y equals 6. I need to get y all by itself. I'm going to minus a 4x from both sides. And we'll have negative 3y equals negative 4x plus a 6. We can then divide by negative 3, because again, we're trying to get our y alone. Negative 4 divided by negative 3 is simply 4/3. The negatives cancel. 6 divided by negative 3 is negative 2. Our m, our slope, is 4/3, meaning we go up 4, we're going to go right 3. Our b is going to be negative 2, and that's, right over here. We begin by going 2 steps down. We always begin with that y-intercept. Then I go up 4 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll go 1, 2, 3 to the right. So that's up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 to the right. And you could keep doing that. 1, 2, 3, 4 steps up. 1, 2, 3 steps to the right. Could also go down 4 and left 3. Again, graphing on Alex, you technically only need 2 points. Wrapping up our lesson. I can graph vertical and horizontal lines. That's our last learning target. We have 2 helpful mnemonics, memory devices, to help us remember details about vertical and horizontal lines. This is a vertical line right here. We have this made-up word of Vux. Over here we have Hoy. And V is indicative of a vertical line. The U means we have undefined slope. And the X means we have X equals a number for the equation of the line. Vertical lines always go straight up and down. Horizontal lines go left to right. So H indicates horizontal lines. This is not the letter O, it's really the number 0. So we'd have 0 slope. And for an equation, we always have y equals a number. So, for example, when we see y, I hope you'd look at this and you'd think this is Hoy. It's a left to right line. If this is where negative 1 is, negative 3/4 is right about here. And that's what our left to right line is going to look like. It's going to look something just like so. X equals negative 4. Well, this would be Vux. Vertical line. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the X coordinate of negative 4. But we're going to have a line that goes straight up and down. Every X coordinate on this line is going to be negative 4. Of course, you can have Y values going all over the place. Okay, so that wraps up our lesson for 2.4a.